Defying death.
This one's a fighter. A California man is lucky to be alive after a harrowing car crash left him trapped down a ravine for 3 days. On the night of January 22nd, Hunter Kittle fell asleep while driving down Mount Baldy. His car veered off the road, careening 70 feet down the side of a cliff before slamming into a tree. Kittle came to the next morning, suffering horrible pain from a collapsed lung, fractured skull, and broken bones. With his phone dead and yelling difficult due to his injuries, Kittle spent the next 2 days waiting for help. Finally, on January 25th, a passing motorist noticed his crashed vehicle and flagged down a deputy. Firefighters rescued Kittle and airlifted him to a hospital where he is now recovering. Doctors say the 24-year-old shouldn't have survived an hour with his injuries and were amazed he lasted that long. Kittle claims it was mind over matter that helped him pull through. Here's more stories of people getting stuck and stranded in different places.
Couple rescued from desert island after writing SOS. A man and woman in their 50s have been rescued after being stranded on a remote South Pacific island for over a week. Linus and Sabrina Jack set sail from Wano Island in Micronesia on August 17th, but failed to reach their destination. The middle-aged couple became stranded on East Fayou Island with no emergency equipment and only limited supplies. So they drew this massive SOS sign in the sand. Local authorities, along with the U.S. Coast Guard and U.S. Navy, launched a large-scale search for them, and a ship spotted flashing lights from the island last Wednesday. A U.S. Navy plane dispatched to the area then saw their SOS sign. A patrol boat was sent out, and the couple was saved on Friday. Firefighters use olive oil to free man with his head stuck in rocks. A Rhode Island man got his head stuck in rocks on Saturday while trying to reach for his dropped cell phone. The poor dude got trapped all the way up to his chest after he bent down to reach the phone on a rocky jetty in Narragansett. We can only imagine what that 911 call must have been like. Firefighters tried for over 2.5 hours to pull the guy out, but to no avail. Then they got a bright idea. They greased the man in olive oil and were then able to free him. He's in the hospital but is said to be okay. A local fire captain told WJAR NBC 10 that they've had similar cases to this in the past involving animals, but never a human. Well, guess there's a first time for everything. Chinese police rescue boy from icy death. Brave Chinese police officers waded into freezing cold waters to rescue this boy trapped in an ice hole. The footage captures the scene in an unknown province in China, which was uploaded to LiveLeak. The boy, who looks about 10 years old, is stranded in a hole in the ice. The little fellow can't move and screams for help. The policemen throw a bamboo ladder into the icy water, and one of the officers dives in right after it. He's joined by several colleagues as he makes his way towards the boy. The first officer reaches the boy, and a crowd on the embankment applaud. The officer and a colleague then break through the ice and drag the boy to safety. But not so fast. Clearly exhausted, the boy's head goes underwater at least twice before he finally makes it back to dry land. Although the boy appeared to be able to walk, his condition was unknown. But without the help of the police, it's certain that things would have been a whole lot worse. Scuba diver survives 18-hour ordeal in shark-infested waters. A 68-year-old man is lucky to be alive after spending 18 hours lost at sea this week. John Lucky Les Brierley was swimming off the coast in Queensland, Australia, at a dive spot called Yongala Wreck when he got pulled away by a powerful current. A friend alerted authorities when he didn't return. But little did his buddy know that Brierly was being pulled some 50 kilometers away into shark-infested waters. The deep blue had taken him to Cape Upstart. That area is reportedly home to sharks. A search and rescue was launched for him, and he was eventually pulled from the water at around 11 a.m. on Monday. Thankfully, Brierly survived the ordeal and was treated for a mild case of hypothermia.
Colombian castaway rescued thousands of miles from Hawaii. A sailor from Colombia has been rescued after a 2-month ordeal in the Pacific Ocean, where he survived by eating gulls and fish. 4 sailors left Colombia more than 2 months ago on a skiff. At some point, their skiff's engine failed and the men were left adrift. They survived for a time by eating seagulls and fish. However, 3 of the sailors died while at sea. The 1 man left kept all 3 of his companions' passports. The 29-year-old survivor was spotted more than 2,000 miles southeast of Hawaii on April 26th by a Panama-flagged bulk carrier, which then promptly rescued the sailor. The unnamed survivor landed in Honolulu on Wednesday morning in good condition and has been handed over to the Colombian consulate.
Survivors relive Italian avalanche nightmare. One of the victims of the avalanche that struck a hotel in Italy last week has revealed how she survived the horrifying ordeal. 22-year-old Giorgia Glassi was sitting on a sofa with her boyfriend in the lobby of the Rigopiano Hotel when an avalanche hit last Wednesday. With the hotel completely buried under snow, Glassi said it was pitch dark in the lobby and no sound could be heard from outside. Shocked and confused, Glassi thought the hotel had been uprooted and pushed further down into the earth. However, she came to realize that the snow-damaged lobby had become a dome with 4 caverns. Glassi said she heard an injured man who was in pain and a woman call out to her daughter. In the lobby, voices echoed. There was nothing to eat inside the hotel, so Glassi and her boyfriend survived by eating ice and snow. On Saturday, 58 hours after the avalanche hit, Glassi and her boyfriend were rescued. 4 magnitude 5.2 and stronger earthquakes struck near the town of Amatrice on Wednesday, triggering the avalanche that buried the hotel. Hotel guests had gathered on the ground floor to await evacuation after the quake struck. One guest said he left the hotel to get medicine for his wife when he saw the avalanche engulf the building. According to officials, the avalanche weighed 120,000 tons and hit the hotel at 60 miles per hour. Glassi and her boyfriend are among 9 survivors, including 4 children who have been rescued so far. On Monday morning, the death toll from the disaster stood at 6, with 23 people still missing. Heroic dog saves owner's life. 2017 started out horribly for one Michigan man who spent New Year's Day injured and helpless in the snow. Luckily, it was man's best friend to the rescue. At 10:30 p.m. on December 31st, Bob ran out to get another log for his fire when he slipped and fell on the ice, breaking his neck. Unable to move, he screamed for help, but with the nearest neighbor a quarter mile away, it was his golden retriever Kelsey that ran to his side. The temperature dipped to freezing, but Kelsey stayed by Bob, barking for help and licking his face and hands to keep him warm. The 64-year-old lost consciousness, but Kelsey's howling eventually got the attention of a neighbor, who finally discovered Bob 20 hours later. He was rushed to the hospital, where a doctor performed emergency surgery to save him. Now recovering nicely, Bob claims he owes his life to 2 heroes, his dog and his doctor.
American exchange student gets stuck in stone love crack. This American exchange student in Germany found himself literally caught between a rock and a hard place when he accepted his friend's dare. There's a statue on the campus of Tübingen University, which is just south of Stuttgart, Germany, called Pichakan. That's Peruvian for lovemaking, and the statue is shaped like a giant vagina. So of course it makes perfect sense that 2 goofy exchange students from the US decide to try to reenact their own births on a dare for all of Instagram to see. However, it seems that they failed to realize that this was only a representation of the female organ, and they both forgot to bring some industrial strength lube. In the end, the stuck student was freed from the anatomically correct crevasse while getting laughed at by locals, jeered by firefighters, and pointed at by little kids. Bunch of freaks.